Walking on thin ice. Really dehydrated and really struggled. Holy f***. As I'm quickly finding out, heading out on winter adventures means facing some of the toughest conditions this world can throw at you. Extreme cold, winds, and snow. But with that risk brings some incredible sights. My name is Benson. I'm a 32-year-old endurance cyclist, and my next goal is to cycle across Antarctica alone and unsupported. And I'm currently training to achieve this. In January, I came out to this expedition training school run by Yoda Adventure and completed the training pipeline here. I loved it so much that after 2 weeks, I have already returned in order to push myself a little bit further. In this video, I plan to head out into the snow solo for 7 nights. I've spent the last few days preparing the bike, the pulk, the nutrition, and the route. The total weight of all the gear I'm taking is 70 kilograms, which I'll be pulling behind me the whole time. And in terms of where I'll be riding, Alley Garden, the training school, is close by to 2 large lakes, with the town to the north and the south connected by a lot of snowmobile tracks. My rough plan was to circumnavigate the lakes and ride all of the snowmobile tracks, as I really wanted to explore the local area. The school will be nearby in case I need it, but otherwise the only thing left to do is get ready and head out into the cold. The training didn't start too extreme. The temperatures we were experiencing in March for northern Sweden were super mild, but for my own training purposes this was fine with me, as it gave me a chance to get back into the rhythm of cold weather expeditions. My aim was to cycle for an hour before taking a 5 to 10 minute break to take on some fluids and fuel, where I would then start riding again for another hour and repeat throughout the day. As a rough guide, I was aiming to travel like this for around 8 to 10 hours each day. Over the first few days I found that the lakes and general landscape were very different to how they'd been the last time I was here. And this was all due to the warmer weather. The lakes had lost all of their snow and were down to bare ice, and the water levels had dropped so much that lake rocks had started to crack through. This milder weather meant I could focus on building back my routines, although it did throw a few curveballs, such as the wind picking up to some crazy strengths. Super windy today, really cold. Wow. I thought that was a truck. Boom of the wind. That was insane. But for the large part, I was just finding my place again in this stunning part of the world. Wow. And the local population seemed pretty friendly too. If I'm cold, he must be freezing. My biggest struggle over the first few days was this hill. I found it on one of the snowmobile tracks and initially had no idea what I was in for, but it quickly became my nemesis. Jesus, look at this hill! Ah! This is a mother trucker. As always, the reward for a day's hard work would come after camp was set up and it came time to eat. So what do we have for dinner tonight? Orzo pasta bolognese, all 940 calories of it. I cannot wait to tuck into this. Oh, it smells good. Too hot to eat, I want to eat it quicker. Right, leave me to tuck in. Now a few days into my training expedition, I wanted to start testing myself. Today's big challenge is I'll only be having about 5,000 calories, which for those watching, excuse my French, might seem like an absolute shit ton. But for me, it'll put me in about a 2,000 calorie hole probably. So I want to see what it feels like. I think I'm going to be hungry, but that's today's challenge. And with the 5,000 calorie battle on, there were a few other unexpected obstacles along the way. So literally just a few days ago, I could ride across this lake. There was traction, but the weather is so warm at the moment, and the rain a few days ago has meant that it's now reduced to just the ice, and it is an ice rink out there. So I'm having to hug the snowy, frozen coastline in order to stay on the lake. But to be honest, there isn't enough of the coastline for me to really play with. Oh my lord. Every now and again there's a tree like this which sticks out into the path, and the section I can ride upon is so narrow that the tree forces me onto the ice. I'm like slipping over. Little stretches I really have to navigate quite carefully. Walking on thin ice. Nice. Once I had managed to circumnavigate this lake, I decided to cross over to the western one through a brief forest climb. I'm not sure whether this was tough due to the lack of calories or just because it was a difficult climb. Might be the hardest part of today. You can see a smaller lake that I've done a loop around today there, and we're just crossing over to the bigger lake, which is through this pathway, but it's a steady climb with some short intense parts, and they are killing me. Yeah, it's tough on the uphills, and to try and keep heart rate down to not sweat, really difficult. The highly reduced calorie day itself didn't seem too difficult, but over the next few days I started to feel underfueled and dehydrated. We're struggling at the moment, feel dehydrated, so I'm trying to get a lot of water on board, feel really hungry. The legs on top of all that are just not here today. It's been a real slog. So I took a real focus on trying to right the ship. Adding to the difficulty of each day was always setting up camp. After putting all of my energy into pushing myself on the ride, I would then have to stay mentally switched on to ensure my camp was set up properly in order to give me a proper night's rest. It became so important to have routines here in order to make sure all of my tasks were completed. Making water from snow to then make dinner and rehydrate properly all took time and energy as well. Today was definitely the hardest day so far. Really dehydrated and really struggled with the food or lack of, and subsequently like my energy levels all afternoon were just were terrible. So I'm really feeling it now. It's like 7:30 and I'm gonna go to bed and try and rest up. Tomorrow's gonna be tough too. Night. As with everything hard I do, I take a lesson from Johnny Knoxville. You count down from 3 and then you do it. This is definitely one of the hardest parts of my day at the moment. Is getting out of bed when it's -10. 3, 2, 1, we go. If you can find the zip. Told you it was hard. Oh, okay. Snowing on my head. Through all of these hard moments came some of the most incredible highs, like taking pleasure in the simple things. It's nice on the hands, nice and warm. The island that I've been camped on all night is obviously surrounded by water, and the deep booming sounds and cracks of the lake and the ice shifting around last night was just wild. I woke up at 2 and could hear it, and it's quite disconcerting because it feels super close. I know I'm safe. I've checked that I am on land here, but it felt a bit too close for comfort at times. That's the power of nature. You have to experience that sometimes. Can you hear it? When I did have some spare time, I would use it to explore and connect with the local nature. Just come for a little explore on the island that I camped on last night because I can hear woodpeckers above. The sun is beaming through and it's freezing cold, but it's glorious. I mean, look at this. This is so cool. We'll let the hummingbird go about his business and we'll go about ours. These incredible highs coming from simple moments with nature, the sights, the sounds, kept me going. No signal, no noise, just me breathing, the sound of the bike and the pulk, and silence whenever I stop. I took time in selecting my camp spots because these provided some of the most beautiful moments. But whether I was stopping for one of my hourly breaks and appreciating the water and food with just the silence surrounding me, or hearing the awesome booms from the lake for the first time. The cold front is moving in, so it's definitely chilling. I think it's about -3, -4 now. Can you hear that? It's the noises from the lake. It's like a deep bass sound. That's crazy. It sounds like somebody's got a subwoofer. God, that's just stunning. I can't hear it normally because of the crunch of the tires. All of these experiences and moments made the struggles more than worthwhile. Over the final few days, I really ramped up the challenge to push myself. And one of the things I needed to find out if it worked was pulling the pulk with a harness whilst pushing my bike. So I challenged myself with this. Today marks the start of what I'm calling Hell Day. All I will do is push the bike and pull the sled with the pulk attachment. We're going to figure out pretty quickly where the problems are and what makes it difficult. But there's only one way to find that out, and I reckon that's 9 hours of straight pulling today. I'll see you on the other side. The first challenge of Hell Day was, of course, to tackle my nemesis again. So this is the hill that knocked me for 6 last time. Hopefully we're a bit better prepared this time. Look at the gradient on this thing. As I was wearing running crampons with ice spikes, I had a lot more traction, but that didn't take away from the challenge. That's really rough no matter which way you dice it. I tried to make Hell Day more realistic at the start by going off the compacted snowmobile track, as it just felt like I was taking the bike for a walk without the deep snow. I'm attempting to simulate going off-piste by not going on the snowmobile tracks and trying to walk on the fresher stuff, but it's so old now it's pretty much frozen into a walkable surface, but we're doing what we can to make this as realistic as possible. But what started out feeling relatively easy soon got a lot harder. So we've been going for about 3.5 hours now. The feet are already starting to rub, so I've had 2 stops to put these blister packs on, otherwise this would be impossible. I couldn't walk about 10 minutes ago. Towards the end of the day, I was in the most pain I'd been in the whole trip. Every step forward took all of my energy as the harness and boots rubbed my body and feet. I was done with this about 3 hours ago. Just pushing through. I know the lessons are there, I know they're going to be worth it, but geez, this is rough going. We've just finished. That last kilometre was ridiculous. My feet are dead. I can't wait to see what they look like. I think they're going to be in absolute bits. But this is going to be a very sleepy camp setup. The effects of Hell Day ran into the following days, and as the week was coming to a close, the cold temperatures and mental and body fatigue took over. The cold has really got me in its grips today. Yeah, it's just really got a hold of me, really pulling the mood down. I think I'm tired as well, and despite eating kind of 6,000 calories yesterday, I'm still hungry. I'm still dreaming of food, which is quite bizarre. It's a weird feeling to eat that much and still be hungry. Yeah, just tired and cold at this point. Tired and cold. I continued to try and push myself though, however I could. Day number 7. The body is ruined, super tired, but still trying to push it, still trying to find new challenges. I didn't know this place was here. We've just hiked up to Struga, which is either hill point in Swedish or the place name, but we've just hiked up here and we can see the lakes in the background that I've been circumnavigating. They're pushing it to get up here, but one final day, one last push. Of course, I had to tackle my nemesis hill one last time. Back at my favorite climb. Last day we're out here, so we're gonna give it our all. Holy f***. Little things like that are just getting on top of me today. Even the snow isn't really cheering me up. Yeah, the body's just, we're just tired. All right, the snow's cheering me up a little bit. It's fine, it's fine. We'll pick the sled up for the 20th time today. It wasn't just the cold anymore, or my nemesis, the hill. It was now the weight of the pulk. The sheer weight of the pulk. It felt like it was pulling me backwards, and the pressure through my knees and legs was immense. But I pushed through to the end and rolled into bed that final night, cold and exhausted. So that was hard, but the last day is in the books. I'm really tired. I need to get to sleep. But I'm proud I've done it, and I've learned a lot from this experience. A lot to take away. Yeah, I'm just spaced out. I'm gonna get some rest. Night. So we are back in civilization and slowly warming up. That was a real test, but that's what I came to Sweden for this time. It was to push myself further and see what I was capable of, and also see what lessons I needed to learn out there on my own. So what did I learn? The major lessons were all based around learning how the bike and pulk work together. However, some of the biggest lessons were actually realizations of skills that I really need to improve upon. The stove system, for example, I really need to practice. Bike mechanics, I really need to understand the bike I'm using. And the final realization was fitness. This is a very different type of bike riding, and I'm gonna need to train specifically for it. All in all though, this trip has put me that one step closer to Antarctica. So if you enjoyed this adventure and you want to support this channel, please subscribe, please like, please comment, let me know what you want to see more of, and thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Schmack.